놈들이 예진 씨가 우리 집에 있는 거 어떻게 알았어요? 지켜요.
Set in a luxurious house in South Korea, the story begins with Chul Wong, the CEO of Taejin Group, who's just left the mansion of his superior. Before leaving, he instructs one of the security staff to tighten the security at the house tonight. Sure enough, due to the lack of security, a mysterious man managed to break in and kill the superior. Interestingly, the incident was manipulated to appear as if it were a suicide. The scene shifts to a man named Jin Chul, who works as a debt collector.
오, 돈 갚으라고 돈.
나 몰라.
존나 날로 먹으려고 하네. 어?
Countless excuses were given for not having the money to pay off the debt. Then Sohan arrived, and without much talk, he successfully carried out his task.
뭐하냐?
아, 형님.
이 개새끼가.
After the departure of the two debt collectors, a beautiful woman arrived to offer the shop owner a 0% interest loan. This woman was known as Tae Yong. It turned out that the three of them were part of the same syndicate. At the end of their hard work, they divided the profits according to their shares. Strangely, Sohan turned to the shop owner and gave him the money he had earned.
소주 2병만 좀 줘봐요.
2 days after that night's incident, Chul Wong met with the daughter of his superior, the owner of the company, to offer his condolences. The girl's name was Ye Jin. Surprisingly, Ye Jin subtly dismissed his condolences. She even boldly claimed that Chul Wong was unfit to lead the company, as it was known that he had extorted the shareholders and ordered them to sell their shares to him.
전혀 없는데.
다 태진을 위한 일인데.
Realizing that his corruption was exposed, Cho Wong boldly kidnapped Ye Jin and forced her to hand over all of her company's shares to him. Seeing a small opportunity, Ye Jin managed to escape. Not long after, Chul Wong's henchmen gave chase, determined not to let her get away. Fortunately, Ye Jin ran towards a young man, Sohan. Without hesitation, Sohan took them down one by one. Sohan stopped at a place he considered safe enough for Ye Jin to get off, as it was close to a police station. He offered her some money, thinking she might not have fare to get home. Strangely, Ye Jin refused the money and instead borrowed Sohan's phone to contact her personal assistant, Park. During the conversation, Ye Jin recounted everything that had happened to her, planning to secure herself for the time being.
내 걱정은 하지 말고 일정은 차질 없이 진행해 주.
After finishing the call with her assistant, Ye Jin thanked Sohan profusely and began to introduce herself. She made one more request. She begged Sohan to let her stay with him for a few days, as she was now being targeted by Chul Wong's gangsters. It should be noted that at this point, Sohan still didn't know that Ye Jin was the sole heir of Taejin Group.
어디든 상관없고.
Cho Wong went into a rage when he found out that his henchmen had failed to bring Ye Jin before him. Ms. Park approached Sang-ho, who was grieving because he had failed to protect the leader, allowing him to die under his watch. At that moment, Sang-ho offered to resign, but Ms. Park refused, saying that such a decision had to come from the sole heir, Ye Jin.
지금 이사님 어디 계신지.
The scene shifts to Jin Chul and Tae Young as they hand over the money collected today to their loan shark boss, known as Boss Joe.
꼬박꼬박 고객이 줄었네.
Boss Joe complained that their earnings were lower than usual. He also questioned why Sohan hadn't shown up for work for 2 days. Their conversation was interrupted when one of his men caused a disturbance. Not wanting to be questioned further about Sohan, the two of them quickly made their exit and left their boss behind.
저희 먼저 가고 있습니다.
Curious about Sohan's condition, the two of his friends took the initiative to visit his house. Their curiosity deepened when they found a woman at Sohan's place. After spending several days living with Ye-jin, Sohan seemed to reopen memories of his past with his lover, who had since passed away. Before leaving for work, even though he was running late, Sohan prepared clothes and even medicine for Ye-jin's injuries. Thanks to Sohan's sincerity and the care he showed her, Ye-jin began to develop feelings for him. Meanwhile, Chul Wong continued to take action to quickly seize full control of the company's shares. He ordered his trusted right-hand man, who turned out to be Boss Joe, promising him an extraordinarily large reward if he succeeded in finding the woman he was looking for. The size of the promised reward thrilled Boss Joe and fueled his enthusiasm to hunt down the woman. At the same time, Sohan and his two friends were seen just finished their job. Sohan was thinking about Ye-jin's needs, and the thought crossed his mind to buy her essential items, skincare products. Without paying any attention to his boss's arrival, he hurriedly left the workplace.
오셨어요? 네. 뭐 이제 가세요?
Hearing Boss Joe talk about a huge reward, the money-hungry Jinshul grew increasingly curious, until Boss Joe's right-hand man finally showed him the woman they were searching for, promising an enormous reward if she was found. Naively, Jinshul almost revealed everything he knew, but fortunately, Tae-young managed to stop him and pull him away. Naturally, this raised Boss Joe's suspicions.
그게
빨리 안 나와?
무지하게 잘 먹을 것처럼 생겼다.
Sohan was seen carrying a bag filled with cosmetic products for Ye-jin. Unfortunately, Ye-jin was asleep at the time, perhaps exhausted from tidying up the house. It was understandable. After all, Ye-jin was wealthy and never really done housework before. Feeling sorry for Ye-jin, Sohan cooked and woke her up so they could eat together. Ye-jin told Sohan that it was the most delicious meal she had ever eaten, and their closeness became even more apparent.
맛있다.
이름이 뭐예요?
Just as Sohan was about to leave the house, Tae-young suddenly arrived in a hurry. She asked Ye-jin who she really was given the huge reward placed on finding her. At that moment, Ye-jin told the truth, that she was the sole heir of Tae-jin Group and was currently being hunted by people who wanted to seize the shares and power from her hands.
저 미안해요. 급해서 그런데 휴대폰 한 번만 빌렸어요.
Tae-young warned Ye-jin not to let this matter endanger the safety of the three of them, especially Sohan. Tae-young explained that Sohan once had a wealthy girlfriend who was constantly terrorized by unknown people. Sohan did everything he could to protect her, but fate had other plans. He lost the woman he loved, which left him depressed for quite some time. Not wanting to reopen old wounds for Sohan and for the sake of all their safety, Ye-jin borrowed Tae-young's phone and called Miss Park to pick her up immediately. Unbeknownst to Ye-jin, everything she told Miss Park had already reached Chul Wong, as the woman had betrayed Ye-jin and was secretly working with Chul Wong. Elsewhere, Sang-ho, who was a security staff member of Ye-jin's late father, reviewed CCTV footage from the streets. By chance, he spotted Sohan with Ye-jin. To ensure the safety of his late employer's daughter, he immediately ordered his subordinates to head to Sohan's house.
연락해서 그 골프장 부근에 한수환이라는 이름으로 된 주소기로.
Boss Joe's men managed to capture Jin Chul and interrogate him. While the interrogation was underway, Boss Joe received a guest, the trusted aide of Chul Wong, who came to ask about the progress of the mission.
알아냈어요.
그리고
To speed up the search, Boss Joe's right-hand man confronted Tae-young and kidnapped her. The scene shifts to Sohan, who is shocked when he returns home and finds his cherished jacket neatly arranged. Shortly after, Boss Joe's men arrive and ask about Ye-jin's whereabouts, raising suspicions in Sohan's mind. Before he has time to think, he sees his friend Tae-young badly beaten, as if she had been assaulted. Sohan immediately attacks and takes down all of them. Not long after that incident, two elite groups arrived, led by Miss Park and Sang-ho, to pick up Ye-jin, saying that she would be safer if she were taken to their place.
얼마나 걱정했는데요.
There was another interesting revelation here. It turned out that Sang-ho and So-yin already knew each other. In the past, Sang-ho had been the bodyguard of So-yin's lover, and for the second time, So-yin entrusted someone he cared about to Sang-ho. After Ye-jin left, Sohan hurried to check on Tae-young's condition. Fortunately, Tae-young's injuries were not too serious, and they quickly moved to rescue Jin Shal at Boss Joe's place, where another fight soon broke out.
야, 이 새끼야. 너도 빵이 가고 싶어서.
Jin Shal still appeared traumatized by what he had recently gone through. He tried to recount what he had heard. While he was being held captive, a well-dressed man made a phone call and mentioned Sohan's name. Hearing this, Sohan became convinced that the man was Sang-ho. Tae-young then urged Sohan to go after Ye-jin, fearing that something might happen beyond their expectations. Ye-jin was seen resting at her own hotel. She planned to hold a meeting regarding Tae-jin Group. Miss Park excused herself and left, intending to meet Cho-won and tell him that Ye-jin was already under her control. But what did she get in return?
네?
Unaware of Miss Park's betrayal, Ye-jin quietly indulged in beautiful memories of her time with Sohan. Unbeknownst to her, driven by the strength of their bond, Sohan had already arrived at the hotel lobby and was forced to confront Miss Park's treachery in order to reach Ye-jin. Just as Sohan managed to reach Ye-jin and was about to take her away, Sang-ho and his men arrived. In this moment, mutual suspicion arose between Sohan and Sang-ho. However, because Ye-jin trusted Sohan more, she chose to leave with him. Unfortunately, their escape was cut short when they ran into Cho-wong's men. However, at just the right moment, Sang-ho and his men stepped in to help, and a battle between the two factions began. While Sang-ho and Sohan were focused on fighting, without them realizing it, Ye-jin was successfully taken away by Cho-wong's men. Sohan was the first to notice and immediately gave chase. Set in an abandoned building, Cho-wong is seen holding Ye-jin captive. Sohan manages to locate Ye-jin and fights desperately against Cho-wong's men to save the woman he loves. Ye-jin regained consciousness and saw Sohan, exhausted from fighting off Chul-wong's men. Chul Wong threatened Ye-jin. If she wanted Sohan to survive, she had to hand over all of her shares to him and sign the documents.
자, 찍어.
Just as Ye-jin was about to sign the documents, Sang-ho managed to stop it and save Ye-jin from Chul Wong. He then hurried to help Sohan fight against Chul Wong's men, who were quite numerous. As both of them lay on the ground, their strength drained from the brutal fight, Chul Wong moved in to finish them off. Fortunately, Ye-jin acted at the right moment and struck Chul Wong on the head, stopping him. After all the turmoil came to an end, Ye-jin became the leader of Taejin Group. Sang-ho was appointed as the head of security at the company, while Sohan and his two friends returned to their previous activities as debt collectors. A week later, Sohan received a package from Ye-jin containing a suit along with a handwritten letter offering him the position of her personal bodyguard. In truth, Ye-jin wanted to be closer to Sohan, but was too shy to express her feelings directly. Not wanting to lose the person he loved for a second time, Sohan accepted Ye-jin's offer and became her personal bodyguard at Taejin Group. And thus, the story comes to an end.